Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Henchman's Memoirs. This week on Encounter Design, we are going to be spicing up an encounter with a flesh golem, and as we always do on Encounter Design, we are going to be adding dynamic terrain, relentless time pressure, and an intriguing twist on the monster's abilities to make the whole encounter more memorable. So this encounter could take place in a dungeon, it could take place in a castle that's been abandoned, it could take place in Castle Ravenloft somewhere. Any place where experimentation has been going on in the past, but it's long since been abandoned or deserted. So the party comes in. We've got Van Richten himself. We've got his protege, Esmeralda. And then we've got our witch hunter, Leibniz, right? So they come in here, and the whole area is kind of covered with dust and cobwebs and all this stuff. The only movement they're going to see when they come in to start things off is this. This is the only mini I've got that can be a crawling claw. I don't know where you can find Pathfinder pawns or minis for crawling claws, but we're going to use them because they fit with the whole theme. So when the party comes in, they first get a look at this space we've got laid out. So there are stairs that go up on the side here, and here we have some levers. Not the third switch, sir. So I'm picturing those kind of big electrical, breaker levers that you had in the Frankenstein movies. We've got these weird sort of dynamos that are big turbines, kind of, that have, like I say, cobwebs and stuff over them right now, but they're going to spring to life and generate electricity. We've kind of got these two control panels up on stairs, so they're a little harder to get to. And then all the way across the room over here, we've got a control panel. We've got a fifth dynamo, and then we've got this table that has a partially unfinished flesh golem on it, right? And then we also see a sort of unmoving flesh golem, or he could be hidden behind the pillar, something like that, when the party first comes in, right? So the party comes in, and this crawling claw pops up and throws one of these levers. And we roll for initiative. All of the dynamos come to life and start whirring, and electricity and sparks start coming around them. And of course, the portcullis slams shut where the party came in, and the encounter is on. So first of all, we need to talk about dynamic terrain. Okay, so there are crawling claws that are gonna kind of appear up here, kind of come out from behind a old gas can or something. There's going to be one up here, there's going to be one up here, and of course we've got one over here. And they're throwing these switches, and electricity builds up. So this switch controls these two, this switch controls these two, and this switch controls this one. So when he throws this switch, and it's not just like a on or off, he's got to have a switch that's like on the boat where you have different speeds, right? So he's got this switch that he can turn to different positions, and it's like 80 ohms, 16 megajoules, whatever. And the crawling claw kind of jumps up and pulls the switch. Let's say we could do that on initiative count 20, or at the very beginning of the round, they pull the switch, and what you start to see is electricity sort of building up in a 5x5 square somewhere that they basically have chosen. So these two are going to shoot at one 5x5 or 10x10 square. These two are going to shoot at a 10x10 square. And at the beginning of the round, you can start to see, like on the ground, this sort of dancing sparks and stuff that give you an idea where it's going to be. Okay. And of course, then at the end of the round, or at count 10, however you want to do it, it goes off and lightning bolts kind of shoot to whatever area they've picked. So Van Richten is here, and he starts seeing these sparks. Hopefully he has a chance to move out of that area. If he doesn't, he's going to take like 3d8 lightning damage, and he has to make a save or he's going to be stunned. I know I normally talk in these videos about how I don't like stunned, but this is one situation where I'm going to call for it because I really want to make it that the party can't just tank the hits from these lightning towers, right? They've got to move out of that area. And of course, even worse, when the active flesh golem comes out and starts coming over to attack them, if he is standing in that space, he gets healed for that much when it triggers, right? They get healed by lightning damage. So now he is not conscious of that effect. He is not going to intentionally stand in the 10 by 10 square to try to get healed. But if he comes over to attack the party and the party uses disengage or something to kind of get away, if they leave him in the spark area, then he's going to get healed for that much on his turn. So the time pressure, the relentless time pressure in this scene. So maybe Esmeralda's like, oh, well, the key is to run up here and deal with this crawling claw and get control of one of these things. Your party probably doesn't have enough people to dedicate 2 whole people just to getting, I guess this would probably be Van Richten, dedicate 2 people just to getting control of these levers or turning them off while somebody fights the flesh golem. But even worse, the time pressure in this scene, this guy, this crawling claw, is juicing up this guy to bring him to life. So you let the party know each round he basically manipulates this lever and the lightning hits this guy, right? And we're going to say, you can see sort of, the Give My Creation Life scene where there's this glowing energy coming through the seams of its stitches and stuff. And you can even tell them when it's going to pop up to life. If you're doing the 3d8 thing, you could just make it when he reaches his standard hit points of 90 something. He has like 11 hit dice that are d8s. So you could make it that. You could, depending on the level of your party and how hard you want to make the encounter, you could make it half of that. But whatever it is, when there's enough lightning damage to him, he's going to, do the Undertaker thing where he stands up all creepy like, and now he's going to come out and be part of the fight, right? And then this handlebar is only going to be dedicated to healing whichever one of these is still up. So we've got our environmental effect with the lightning towers. We've got our relentless time pressure with the second flesh golem who's threatening to be woken up. And of course, if the players try to come and get control of one of these things, they do have to fight the crawling claw. That's not much at the level that they're going to be, but it's a little something. You could also make it so there are extra crawling claws, that are just kind of lurking around over here on the shelf of brains. And if Van Richten comes down here, they can run up here and try to get control of this back. I would make it if the party just tries to smash these things, they take a ton of damage and definitely get stunned, because you want to make it so that these things stay in play if you can. That's up to them how they're going to do it. So finally, you don't have to do this last part if you don't want to, but to finally add even a little bit more spice and memorability to this encounter, we're going to do a twist on the flesh golem that is based on this particular mini that I think my son got me. So the thing I like about this guy, 2 things. First of all, he's got all these sort of boils or pustules or whatever you want to call these all over his body. And second of all, he's got these extra little emaciated hands that have been grafted onto him. Obviously, he's got forearms. You don't need to do that part. But these little emaciated hands, I think, is a great idea. So you describe that your flesh golem has these extra hands kind of grafted on under his armpits kind of here. And they give him a bonus action when he's fighting the party where these hands can lash out and try to take something, not out of the party's hand, but out of the player's belt pouch or out of their bandolier. Maybe he's grabbing, their spare weapon or whatever it is, a healing potion. I know I've been doing the pickpocket thing in a couple of these different encounter designs, but it's just such a cool little twist where this guy is reaching out and gets a free chance to try to pickpocket whoever he's fighting every single round. The other thing you could do with the pustules is when he gets hit, ruptures, something under his skin, a pustule, a boil, something ruptures when you hit him with a melee attack, and it spews out some poison, and you need to make like a DC 16 saving throw, or you're poisoned until the end of your next round, something like that. Just a little spice to add interest to the encounter. So if you like what you're seeing, give it a try in your next dungeon or your next haunted castle. Let us know down in the comments how it goes, and join us next time for the Henchman's Memoirs.